September 4th, 1564, a date that would forever change the course of history for the small town of Ronneby. A day forever etched in the annals of Ronneby's history. The events that unfolded on this day would be remembered for generations to come, a dark chapter in the town's storied past. This quaint Danish market town, nestled in the heart of Bleaking, would become synonymous with unimaginable brutality. Ronneby, known for its peaceful existence and vibrant market life, was about to face a storm like no other. The air, usually alive with the sounds of commerce and laughter, grew heavy with dread. The bustling marketplace, once filled with the cheerful chatter of townsfolk, now echoed with an eerie silence. The sense of impending doom was palpable. The winds carried whispers of war, a storm brewing on the horizon. Dark clouds gathered, casting long shadows over the town, as if nature itself was mourning the tragedy that was about to unfold. The conflict had been brewing for months. Tensions between Sweden and Denmark had reached a boiling point. The strategic importance of Ronneby made it a focal point in this escalating conflict. Sweden, under the ambitious reign of King Erik XIV, sought to assert dominance over the Baltic Sea. King Erik's vision of a Swedish empire required control over key territories, and Ronneby was a crucial piece in this grand design. Denmark, with its control over vital trade routes, stood as a formidable obstacle. The Danish crown, aware of the strategic importance of Ronneby, was determined to defend its territory. Tensions escalated. Diplomatic efforts faltered. War became inevitable. The picturesque province of Bleaking, with Ronneby at its heart, would become the unfortunate battleground for this clash of ambitions. The serene landscapes and peaceful townsfolk were caught in the crossfire of a larger geopolitical struggle. The stage was set for a confrontation that would leave an indelible mark on history. King Erik's forces, led by the ruthless Daniel Rantzau, descended upon Blekinge with a vengeance. The Swedish king, driven by his ambitions to expand his territory and consolidate power, saw Blekinge as a crucial region to control. The invasion was meticulously planned, with every detail considered to ensure a swift and decisive victory. Rantzau, a seasoned military tactician, was known for his unwavering resolve and brutal efficiency. His reputation preceded him, striking fear into the hearts of those who opposed him. He had a keen understanding of battlefield dynamics and was adept at exploiting the weaknesses of his enemies. His strategies were often ruthless, but they were undeniably effective. His orders were clear: crush any resistance and secure Blekinge for the Swedish crown. The soldiers under his command were well trained and highly disciplined, ready to execute his commands without hesitation. They moved with precision, their every step a testament to their rigorous training and unwavering loyalty to their leader. The Danes, caught off guard by the swiftness of the invasion, scrambled to mount a defense. The suddenness of the attack left them in disarray, their forces scattered and unprepared. The Danish soldiers, though brave and determined, found themselves at a disadvantage, struggling to organize a coherent defense against the well-coordinated Swedish assault. Ronneby, with its strategic location and bustling harbor, became a prime target. The town's position made it a valuable asset, both for its economic significance and its strategic importance. Control of Ronneby would provide the Swedish forces with a crucial foothold in the region, allowing them to launch further operations with great ease. The city's inhabitants, accustomed to the rhythms of peaceful life, were ill-prepared for the horrors that awaited them. The sudden shift from tranquility to chaos was jarring, leaving the townspeople in a state of shock and fear. They had lived their lives in relative peace, and the invasion shattered their sense of security. They huddled in their homes, fear gnawing at their hearts as the thunder of marching boots grew louder. The sound of soldiers approaching filled the air, a constant reminder of the impending danger. Hope, however, flickered faintly. Despite the overwhelming odds, the townspeople clung to the belief that help would come. Surely the Danish reinforcements would arrive in time. The townspeople looked to the horizon, praying for the sight of their saviors. They knew that the arrival of reinforcements could turn the tide of the battle, giving them a fighting chance against the invaders. The hope of rescue kept their spirits alive, even as the situation grew increasingly dire. Ronneby was by no means a fortress city. Its defenses, consisting of a modest wooden palisade and a handful of cannons, were woefully inadequate against a determined enemy. The city's small garrison, composed mostly of local militia, was no match for the seasoned Swedish troops. Their courage was undeniable, but their lack of experience and inferior weaponry painted a grim picture. As the Swedish army approached the city walls, the reality of their situation dawned on the citizens of Ronneby. Negotiations were attempted, pleas for mercy uttered. But Rantzau, driven by his king's ambitions and his own ruthlessness, remained unmoved. He demanded unconditional surrender. The citizens of Ronneby were trapped, their fate hanging precariously in the balance. The siege of Ronneby began in earnest. Swedish cannons roared, their iron embrace shattering the peace of the countryside. Buildings crumbled under the relentless bombardment. The air grew thick with smoke and the stench of gunpowder. Still the citizens held on, clinging desperately to the hope of Danish reinforcements. Days turned into nights, each hour an agonizing test of endurance. Rantzau, a master of psychological warfare, allowed rumors of approaching Danish relief to reach the besieged city. These whispers of hope, however, proved to be cruel deceptions, designed to break the spirit of the defenders. The Danish fleet, delayed by unforeseen circumstances, was still far out at sea. For the people of Ronneby, time was running out. On that fateful day, September 4th, under a sky heavy with foreboding, the Swedish assault began. Wave after wave of Rantzau's troops charged the weakened defenses. The defenders fought valiantly, but they were hopelessly outnumbered. The palisade, riddled with cannon fire, finally gave way. Swedish troops, fueled by promises of plunder and driven by a bloodlust that knew no bounds, surged into the city. The streets of Ronneby, once bustling with life, transformed into a nightmarish battleground. The clang of steel against steel, the screams of the wounded, the terrified cries of women and children filled the air. Resistance, though fierce, was quickly overwhelmed. The city, once a beacon of hope, was now drowning in a sea of violence. What followed was a massacre of horrific proportions. The Swedish troops, their discipline shattered by the heat of battle, descended upon the city with unbridled fury. No one was spared. Men, women, even children were cut down without mercy. Houses were ransacked and burned. The cobblestone streets, slick with blood, bore witness to the depths of human depravity. A Swedish bulletin recounting the events of that day with chilling detachment described the carnage. The city was so full of corpses that one could hardly walk through the streets. The river, once a source of life and beauty, ran red with the blood of the slain. The very air was thick with the stench of death. The most heart-wrenching aspect of the Ronneby bloodbath was the indiscriminate slaughter of innocents. Women, clutching their children, were hunted down and butchered. Their pleas for mercy fell on deaf ears. Children, their eyes wide with terror, were cut down in cold blood. The brutality meted out to the most vulnerable members of society stood as a testament to the depths of human cruelty. One can only imagine the terror that gripped the hearts of those mothers as they watched their children perish. Their screams, their desperate attempts to shield their loved ones from the onslaught were met with nothing but cold steel. The echoes of their agony would forever haunt the blood-soaked streets of Ronneby. When the sun finally set on that day of unimaginable horror, Ronneby lay in ruins. The once bustling streets, filled with the laughter and chatter of its inhabitants, were now eerily silent. The vibrant market squares where merchants once sold their wares were reduced to smouldering ashes. The grand homes and humble cottages alike were nothing more than charred remnants of their former selves. The once vibrant city was now a smouldering graveyard. The air was thick with the acrid smell of smoke and the haunting scent of death. The proud city walls, which once stood as a testament to Ronneby's strength and resilience, were now crumbling and broken. The heart of the city, its people, lay still and lifeless, a stark contrast to the life that once pulsed through its veins. The streets, littered with the bodies of the slain, were eerily silent. The echoes of the battle, the cries of the wounded, and the shouts of the attackers had all faded into a haunting stillness. The once lively thoroughfares were now pathways of sorrow and loss. Each corner, each alleyway told a story of bravery, fear, and ultimately tragedy. The only sound that broke the stillness was the mournful lapping of the blood-red river against the banks. This river, which once brought life and sustenance to the city, now carried the weight of its destruction. The water, tainted with the blood of the fallen, reflected the somber reality of the massacre. It was as if the river itself wept for the lives lost and the dreams shattered. The Danish fleet, arriving too late to save the city, could only bear witness to the horrors that had transpired. The sailors, hardened by years of battle, were struck silent by the sheer scale of the devastation. They had come to aid, to fight, but found themselves mere spectators to a tragedy already written. The site of Ronneby, once a jewel of the region, now a desolate wasteland, was a sobering reminder of the cost of war. The Ronneby Bloodbath sent shockwaves throughout Scandinavia. News of the massacre spread like wildfire, reaching the farthest corners of the region. It was a tale of horror that resonated deeply, shaking the very foundations of neighboring towns and cities. The brutality of the attack, the sheer loss of life, became a dark chapter in the annals of history, a story told and retold with a shudder. It served as a stark reminder of the brutal realities of war and the depths of human depravity. The massacre at Ronneby was not just a battle lost, but a testament to the darkest aspects of human nature. It highlighted the capacity for cruelty and the devastating impact of unchecked aggression. The images of that day, the stories of those who perished, became symbols of the need for peace and the dangers of conflict. Even today, centuries later, the memory of that horrific day continues to cast a long shadow over the town of Ronneby. The modern city, with its bustling streets and thriving communities, still bears the scars of its past. Memorials and plaques stand as silent sentinels, reminding residents and visitors alike of the events that once unfolded here. The weight of history is palpable, a constant presence that shapes the identity of the town, a solemn reminder of the human cost of conflict and the enduring power of history. The people of Ronneby, while moving forward, never forget the lessons of their past. The massacre is a part of their collective memory, a story passed down through generations. It serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of peace and the importance of remembering the past to build a better future. The weight of history, though heavy, is a testament to the resilience and enduring spirit of Ronneby.